What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Hangout Spot, where we discuss real talk, sports talk, live from my man cave. It's your boy Johnny, and let's talk Jets, because this Monday night, the 4-3 New York Jets, fresh off their horrendous 13-10 victory over the Giants, host the Los Angeles Chargers, who are coming in with a 3-4 record and are chomping at the bit to try to get to 500 in a season that many are saying that they've underachieved up to this point. Valid point. I mean, this was a team that many were considering to be a lock for a playoff spot, and a team that was going to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs for first place in the AFC West. But they've been very, very inconsistent to start the season. And I got to be honest, had you had asked me, a couple of weeks ago after the Eagle game, if this was a game that the Jets could potentially win, I would have said without hesitation, absolutely. We were coming off a big win. We were going into a bye week. We had the Giants after the bye week. My expectation was, with a week of preparation, that the offense would look a lot better. Even though I knew it would be a close and an ugly game, I thought that we would look a lot more solid than we did offensively. We obviously didn't. And we looked horrendous, and we were lucky to get out of there with a win. And that kind of changes my whole thought process about this game. That combined with the fact that, the Chargers are coming off a win. It was an impressive 30-13 win over the Bears, again, albeit the Bears, but they look like they might be turning the corner. And offense for the Chargers has never been an issue. I mean, they put points on the board. I mean, Justin Herbert is one of your better quarterbacks in the league. He's having a very, very good season, and they're not shy about putting points on the board. That hasn't been the issue. It's been a combination of bad defense on the secondary and, questionable coaching. But you got to think at some point they're gonna put it all together, and they're gonna start looking like the team that many thought was the team coming into the season. I just hope that it's not this week. But again, I'm on the fence here. This is a very, very interesting game for me, and I don't say that because I don't think the Jets can win. I think the Jets can win this game, but there's 5 things, in my opinion, that the Jets have to clean up on Monday night if they want any chance of winning this game. And I'm calling those my 5 keys to victory. And it starts with number 1, which I believe is the most important and the most obvious, which is offense. And I say that again, offense. The Jets have to show up offensively. I mean, they are just horrendous. They've been horrendous on the offensive side of the football. They rank almost last or close to last in almost every meaningful offensive category. They got to score touchdowns. The last couple of weeks before the Giant game, you can say that although the red zone efficiency was bad, at least they were moving the football between the 20s. They obviously didn't do that against the Giants, but if they can do that this game, they got to finish drives, and they got to put the ball in the end zone, because you got to think that this team is going to score points on national TV. So they got to be able to pass the ball, effectively. In my opinion, they got to be able to throw the ball down the field vertically. I said that in my last video. Let this kid throw the ball down the field. He has a good arm. Let's see what he can do when he rips the ball down the field. My prediction is, as soon as you start the game, the first pass of the game, throw it 30 yards down the field. At least it gets the Chargers thinking that there's a possibility that you are going to be able to put the ball down the field, at points in the game when the opportunity presents itself. Right now, it's just been conservative slants and 10, 12-yard passes in the middle. We got to mix that up. We got to mix that up, and we got to allow this kid to rip it and see what he can do. At the end of the day, the defenses make mistakes too, and even if you put the ball in a position for your receiver to catch it, sometimes they get a little over aggressive, and they will hold and get called for PIs. Those are never a bad thing either. Those are usually plays that can give us chunk yardage and help us move the chains too. I mean, it helped us win a game against the Giants, last week. It was basically a PI that put us in a position to kick that game-winning field goal in overtime. So you got to at least show the threat of throwing the ball down the field, and then continue to feed the ball to Brees. I mean, even though the Charger front four is extremely stout, look for him in the short passing game. Try to find some mismatches out of the backfield. I mean, there's plenty of times where you can line him up and get a mismatch on a linebacker. Take advantage of that. He is dynamic. He's a home run hitter. Anytime he has the football in his hand, he has a threat to take it to the house. Use that this game. If Brees doesn't get at least 20 to 25 touches, shame on Hackett, for poor play calling. And shame on Zach, for poor decision making if the plays are there and he doesn't look for them. Garrett Wilson, again, that goes without being said. Use him. Continue to develop that rapport over the middle with Conklin. And if I was Zach, you're going to face some pressure from their front four. Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa are studs. Khalil Mack is coming to this game with 7 sacks. Joey Bosa 4 sacks. They're going to apply some pressure, especially against this offensive line, which we'll get into in a second. Move up in the pocket and take off. Take what the defense gives you. If you see that, the middle is open, take off. Pick up those 6, 7, 8 yards. If it doesn't get you closer to a first down, you may be able to get a first down. He has the athletic ability to do that. Let's put it together. Let's do all that. And let's get the ball in the damn end zone and stop settling for field goals. Which brings me to point number 2, which is third down efficiency. We got to be able to move the chains and be effective on third downs. Right now, we are putrid. We're dead last in third down efficiency. We are only completing 23% of our third downs in a passing, offensively driven league. That's horrible. And there's a bunch of different factors that play into that, play calling, bad decision making, inaccuracy. I get all that, but you got to be able to convert on third downs. It will sustain drives. It will enable us to move the ball down the field. It will also give our defense rest. How many times have we seen our defense out there 3/4 of the game? It's a miracle that they just don't fall on the ground and just pass out in the fourth quarter. We got to be able to do that so we can take the pressure off them. Look at the last 3 weeks. 2 of 15 versus the Giants, 2 of 11 against the Eagles, 3 of 12 against the Broncos. That's terrible. That's terrible. If we're gonna have any shot at winning this game, we got to be better on third downs. Point number 3, the O-line play, and this is a big one here because we've been extremely banged up. It's anyone's question who's going to start this game this week. But the crazy part about it is with the luck that we've had in the injuries, you don't even know who's going to finish the game on the offensive line. It could be 3-4 different people that finish the game compared to how many start the game. So the good news is, around town with Saleh's press conferences is that Dwayne Brown may be back this week. That's going to be huge. If he does come back, they're going to move him to left tackle and move Makai to right tackle. So they'll do a little bit of shifting, but having an extra body in there, a healthy body, a veteran body, will be a good thing for us. And then there is rumors, although he didn't outright say it, that Tippmann may be coming back to play, and that's huge too because, like I said last week, we basically had to play with our third string center. So if Tippmann comes back, he goes right back in as the starter at center, and it gives us a little bit more, continuity with what we were doing before all of these injuries. But that's going to be key because, like I said, their front four, the Chargers' front four is very, very stout. I don't know if we're going to have a lot of, if we're going to be as effective running the football, but we still got to be able to utilize Brees out of the backfield. And again, if there's pressure in the backfield, Zach has to take off and run and get some yardage with his legs. But, O-line play is going to be very, very critical. And it takes me to point number 4, which is the discipline of this team. Penalties. The penalties and the stupid, lack of focus, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. The last 3 weeks alone, it's a miracle that we were able to pull these games out. 9 penalties versus the Giants, 5 against the Eagles, another 9 against Denver. Those are 23 penalties in 3 games. The only week that we didn't have a penalty was the damn bye week when we didn't play. Other than that, we've been killing ourselves. How many times have you seen this team pick up a first down, pick up a big chunk yardage play, and it gets called back because of a dumb penalty? We can't kill ourselves. We're just not that good of a team that we're going to be able to overcome stupid penalties. We got to be able to stay focused. I understand we're aggressive, but we got to stay focused, and play within the rules, and that'll give us a really, really good shot of keeping ourselves in this game. And then obviously, my last point is, our defense. We had a brutal first 6 games of the season where we played some really, really good quarterbacks. Our defense has to continue to keep up with that great play against, some of the top tier quarterbacks. This week would be no different. I consider Justin Herbert, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's in the Mahomes category or the Allen category, but he's up there. He's definitely top 10. And if you look at what we've done against some of the better quarterbacks, 3 interceptions against Allen, 2 against Mahomes, could have easily been 3, and another 3 against Jalen Hurts, who was an MVP candidate last week. We've done really well against some of the top-tier quarterbacks, and we have to continue that this week because unlike last week where the secondary wasn't challenged at all, Herbert's going to be throwing the ball all over the field. They are a vertical passing offense, so our corners have to be up to the task. And if we can create some pressure with our front four without blitzing and drop our nickels and linebackers back in coverage, I think that we have a good opportunity to get some turnovers against Justin, because as good as he's been, he is prone to the turnover, especially in close games against good teams. He has a tendency to fold a little bit. So we just got to keep the game close and just continue to be as good as we've been against some of the top quarterbacks. And I think that we'll be fine. The good thing for the Jets, in my opinion, is that they've had the tendency this year to play better against the better teams. So that's a good thing because although their record is below 500, I consider Chargers one of the better teams in the AFC. The bad news is we've also played down to the competition. But on that note, what happens? What do I think happens? Who wins this game? What's my prediction? So in keeping with our theme here in the hangout spot of Real Talk Sports Talk, I'm going to keep it real, and I'm going to say that I don't really like the Jets' chances in this game too much. And the reason why is because the 5 key takeaways, the 5 key points to victory that I just went over, I don't know if they're going to be able to clean up all 5, especially the offensive line. I'm very, very concerned with the offensive line play going into this game. And the inconsistency to be able to block and give Zach enough time. We all know that when Zach is pressured, he has a tendency to make inaccurate throws and sometimes bad decisions. I'm not sure. Like I said, it's hard to be able to trust this offensive line. And then secondly, one of the other key takeaways that I'm pretty nervous about is the offense. Until I see the offense, get the ball into the end zone, at least 2 times a game, I'm leery that they're going to be able to get that done. So I don't know. Part of me seems to think that this is a game that will resemble the Chiefs game, where we're going to be able to move the football and hang and play a tough game. But then a part of me says, based on what I saw last week, what are we going to show offensively that will enable us to put enough points on the board to beat, a team that's going to be chomping at the bit to get to 500. So if I had to go by my gut, I'd say that the Chargers pull this game out 23-17. However, if I went with my heart, which I have the tendency to do, my heart says that the Jets are going to come out totally different. You're going to see the offense that you saw against the Chiefs that went head-to-head with Patrick Mahomes. You're going to see an offense that's going to get the ball into the end zone. You're going to see a defense that's going to turn over Herbert at least 2 times. You're going to see a crowd that's going to be going insane, once the Jets, sack Herbert 3 or 4 times. And you're going to see the Jets win the game 23-17, unlike what my gut says. That's what my heart says, and I'm going to go with my heart on this one. I'm going to say that the Jets win this game 23-17. And yes, you can call me crazy. It wouldn't be the first time somebody did call me crazy. In fact, I'll agree with you. I am kind of crazy, but get used to it, because if you want to hang with me more often, you're probably going to hear some more crazy stuff from me. But anyhow, that's my prediction. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Am I crazy? Do you think that the Jets have a chance to win? And if not, what's your prediction? What's your score prediction? I'd love to hear all your comments. But either way, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe and support your boy. And come hang out with me more often here in the hangout spot. I enjoy doing these videos. I really do. But at the end of the day, I appreciate everyone's love and support. But until next time, this is your boy Johnny signing out from the Hangout Spot. And we'll be doing another video next week to recap, hopefully, a Jet victory over the Chargers. But take care, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.